In 1952, during training maneuvers, the Soviet submarine S-117 disappeared without a trace. All attempts to find it ended in nothing. Various versions of what happened were put forward. An explosion on a sea mine, hijacking to the USA, death as a result of a collision with an unidentified vessel, and others. Even after more than 50 years, the disappearance of the S-117 remains one of the most mysterious secrets of the fleet. History knows many cases when submarines disappeared without a trace. Some were later found on the bottom, others seemed to disappear into the abyss. One of such mysteries is the story of the disappearance of the submarine C-117 Mackerel, later renamed C-117. It was a diesel-electric torpedo submarine of the Shchuka type of the Vibis series. The series features included low construction costs, excellent maneuverability, and high survivability. The boat was launched in 1934 and was part of the Pacific Fleet. Its characteristics: length 58 meters, width 6 meters, speed up to 12 knots, maximum diving depth 90 meters. The crew numbered 40 people. Before the Great Patriotic War, the boat became famous for its record-breaking autonomous voyage. Under the command of Lieutenant Captain Nikolai Gibka, Shi-117 was at sea for 40 days, while the standard was 20. Thus, the crew more than twice exceeded the standard. An orchestra met the submariners on the shore, newspapers wrote about their feat, and the entire crew was awarded orders. Thus, Shi-117 became the first submarine of the Soviet fleet, the entire crew of which became decorated. During World War II, the Shchuka made only one combat sortie in August 1945, but did not participate in combat operations. After the end of the war, the Soviet Navy introduced a new classification of submarines: large, medium, and small. In accordance with this, the Shi-117, as a medium boat, received a new name, S-117. By the early 1950s, the submarine was already outdated, but after a major overhaul with replacement of diesel engines and subsequent warranty repairs, it successfully passed all inspections. It was not planned to be decommissioned yet. It was estimated that it had at least 10 years of service ahead of it, but everything went differently. In December 1952, the Pacific Fleet began another exercise. According to the scenario, 6 submarines were to carry out a coordinated attack on a simulated enemy. One of the submarines played the role of a reconnaissance submarine, detecting the target and directing the others to it. This task was assigned to the S-117. On the morning of December 14, the boat, unaccompanied, was the first to leave the port of Sovetskaya Gavan. It was to take up a position near Kolmsk, from where the target ship was to leave. That evening, S-117 sent a radio message about a breakdown in one of its 2 diesel engines. The commander reported that the malfunction was being fixed, and the boat was continuing to move according to plan. That same evening, the duty officer at headquarters reported to the fleet that fishermen had spotted a floating mine in the Kolmsk area. This message later became key. At night on December 15th, the S-117 transmitted its last radiogram about the completion of engine repairs. And during the day, the target ship left Kolmsk. However, the submarine did not contact again. At first, this did not cause alarm, but when the headquarters requested the coordinates of the C-117, there was no answer. New attempts to establish contact were also unsuccessful. On the night of December 17th, the boat was officially declared missing. A large-scale search began, involving minesweepers, rescuers, submarines, and aircraft. Soldiers and border guards combed the coast. The search operation continued until December 25th, but neither the submarine nor any traces of the disaster, such as oil spills or debris, were found. Along with the S-117, 52 crew members disappeared. The State Commission considered various versions. The first was the crew's errors during diving or maneuvering. After all, the submarine had been under repair for 2 months. Part of the crew was new. Errors cannot be ruled out. The second was a technical malfunction. Given the age of the boat, its condition was considered satisfactory, but mechanical failure was also considered. The third was a mine explosion, but no one heard or saw the explosion, and no debris was found. In addition, the mine itself was not found. Perhaps the fishermen mistook a floating object for a mine. There was also a version of the boat being hijacked to the USA or Japan. However, it was deemed unlikely, as the crew was considered politically reliable. The fifth version was a collision with a surface vessel. It seemed the most likely and even received some confirmation. After the disappearance of the S-117, the Navy ordered an inspection of all ships passing through the Kolmsk area. Particular attention was drawn to the motor ship Gorno-Zavodsk, a cargo ship transporting prisoners along the routes of the Far East. On the day of the disappearance of the S-117, it was traveling from Vanino to Korsakov. Upon arrival at the port, divers recorded damage to the bottom of the ship. The captain was unable to explain the cause. In addition, the logbook shows that the Gorno-Zavodsk for some reason turned off its engines in the Kolmsk area. One of the lifeboats was not secured properly, and one lifebuoy was missing altogether. All this led to the idea of a possible collision with a submarine. During the inspection, the vessel was docked and thoroughly inspected. The damage to the bottom was not serious enough to penetrate the submarine's hull and cause it to sink. Therefore, the collision hypothesis was never fully confirmed. The search continued for another year, but yielded no results. Here is what Vladimir Shigin wrote in his book, The Unknown Tragedy of the S-117. The crew of the missing submarine was considered not dead, but missing in action, which had consequences. After all, in such a case, the families did not have the right to pensions. However, justice prevailed. Payments were assigned, families received one-time allowances, and officers were provided with housing in the European part of the USSR. In 1999, a monument to the S-117 was erected in Postovaya Bay of Sovetskaya Gavan, a part of the hull with a hatch and an emergency buoy, removed from another boat of a similar design. It is believed that the S-117 sank in the Tatar Strait at depths of up to 500 meters. Modern technology can help to locate it. If the boat is found, it will be possible to reveal the details of its disappearance and finally give the crew military honors.